Morning, yogis. Happy Friday. We made it through another week as this, summer's approaching quickly. It's crazy when you look at the calendar that we're already in the middle of May. Let's start to find a comfortable seat wherever you are. Block, blanket, earth, mat, wherever you are. Just feel your sit bones rooted down. Always nice to start our practice, really just grounding and feeling held and feeling secure, right? So that we can take that foundation and grow from it. Gently engage your core here so that your front body and back body feel equally engaged and strong. Stack your shoulders on top of your hips, your head on top of your shoulders here. Nice tall spine, the crown of your head reaching for the sky. Shoulders are dropping down, like really nice and heavy. Just scrunch them up actually one time so we can get that sensation. Roll them back and then really feel your shoulder blades pulling down. Almost like you have little weights on your shoulders, pulling them down away from your ears. Nice long neck here. Already finding space to breathe. Just one time, inhale through your nose, really fill up and then let it all go through your mouth, just kind of clearing out the morning here. So take a deep breath in, feel your chest expanding, and then let it all go. Take a few rounds of breath here to just scan your body, kind of noticing where you are today. As likely a busy week is closing out. Hopefully a nice relaxing and fun weekend is ahead. Starting to turn inward. Right? There's this saying that like yoga is like a work in, not a workout, right? So we're working in, setting ourselves up with lots of good energy that we can then take off of our mat and practice out in the world. So take this next hour-ish for yourself, not in a selfish way. Let's open our practice together with 3 Ohms, and setting the mood, setting the tone, joining together. Take a deep breath in and really fill up. Gently let your eyes blink open. And this morning we're going to start together on our backs, not shavasana. Don't get too excited. So just roll back on your mat, remove any props that you might have had. And just for a breath, just kind of sink down into the mat, right? Feel all the points of contact that you're having with your body and the ground. Not engaging anything quite yet, just noticing. Feeling nice and heavy, noticing the earth holding you. And then start to bring your legs together, right? That will already engage them a little bit. Gently tip your tailbone so that your sacrum's more engaged in the mat. You decrease the arch in your back there. Just feel nice and strong here, right? You feel your quads engaging. Flex your feet, toes toward the sky. And then take your arms next to your body for just a moment. Shoulders are pulling down into the mat and keeping your shoulders down into the mat. Just reach your arms up overhead, almost like you're squeezing a block, keeping them shoulder distance apart, and then take your arms up overhead. Keep your core engaged. Keep pressing your feet toward the front of the room as your fingertips reach back. Right? This is almost like a handstand position, but you're on the ground. Everything's nice and strong and in line. And then as you exhale, just bring your arms back up and over, down next to your side, palms down. Inhale, flip your palms, reach your arms up and over. Keep those shoulder blades pressing down into the mat as you reach your fingers up and over your head. So shoulders are pointing down, fingertips are reaching away. And then exhale, bring your hands down next to your body. From here, just hug your right knee in towards your chest. Keep your left leg engaged, pulling down toward the mat. Quads are engaged. You can bring a tiny bend to that left knee to kind of feel a little opening in your hip as you pull the right knee in. Hug it in for one more breath. And then as you inhale, extend your leg up toward the sky. Flex your foot, hands can come behind your thigh here, grabbing your quadricep. And before you start to pull it in, I want you to press your knee, your whole leg away. So it's like this like little struggle between your interlaced fingers and your leg. You're kicking your leg away, and then at the same time, you're pulling it in. So feel a nice engagement all the way down at the connection of your leg to your torso. One more breath here. Good, and then start to draw the leg in towards your body. You can walk your hands up a little bit further towards your ankle if you have the space right now. It's early in the practice. Good, just starting to stretch out the hamstring without losing the engagement of your left leg. Your left leg is reaching down toward the mat and then pushing away. One more breath here. Then grab the outside of your foot with your right hand and just let your leg fall out to the side. Again, keep your shoulders attached to the ground. This is an early stretch. We often do these toward the end of the practice when we're super warm, so don't be hard on yourself, right? Things are gonna feel different. Press the inner edge of your foot out toward the outside of the room, right? So you're sort of engaging through the big toe side of your foot, feeling an extra stretch through the inner thigh. One more breath here. And then inhale, just pass back through center, switch hands, and just take a little twist to the left-hand side. Right arm is extended out, grounding down through those shoulder blades. Don't let your shoulder blades lift up. Your leg might not fall very far, but feel your hip pressing down toward your feet. By stretching away, almost lengthening the distance between your bottom rib and your hip bone on the right side. One more breath. Then inhale, come back to center, just pull your leg a little bit further in. You can lift your head for a moment if it feels good. Then as you exhale, hug that right leg in and extend it down the mat, switching sides. Hug that left knee in, just hold it here, right? So you're pulling the knee in, at the same time your right leg is extending longer down the mat. Stay nice and active, right toes pointing toward the sky. Breathing in here. Even engaging your core a little bit here, right? As you pull in a little bit tighter. One more breath. On your next inhale, extend your left foot toward the sky, flex that foot, interlace your fingers behind your thigh, and for a few breaths here, really kick that leg away from you as you try to pull it in. Find that little competition, right, between your hands and your leg, pressing away, engaging all the way up to the hip. One more breath here, hold it, and then as you inhale, you can walk your hands a little bit further up your leg as you pull your leg in toward your torso without losing the connection of your right leg down the mat. One more breath. Then grab the outside of your foot with your left hand and let your leg fall out to the side. You can extend your right arm to the side for balance here. Beautiful. Take a special notice of the inner edge of that left foot now and think about pressing that further out toward the side of the room. Maybe noticing a little bit of extra stretch down the inseam of your yoga pants, down the inner thigh there. One more breath. And come back through center, switch hands, let your foot fall to the right side, extend your left arm out to the side. Again, but not a huge stretch here. Really think about your left hip pulling down the mat away from your rib cage. Finding a stretch in your tush there, right? In your outer hip. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Stretch your leg. You can lift your head. Just one more breath here. Then bend your knee in towards your body. Bring your right knee up to meet it, hugging in. And then rock and roll a few times, coming up to seated. And massage your spine. Just come up to seated here. Roll over your knees and come to a tabletop position. Okay, there. Good. Coming to a tabletop here. Just take a few breaths here to move your body. See what you're feeling. You might already be feeling your hip creases after those little stretches at the beginning. It's always interesting to do things in like the reverse order, right? Do those stretches we usually do at the end of class or the beginning of class, and just, you know, you can really appreciate what we create in our bodies throughout these practices when we do them. Good, then come back to a tabletop position, set it up nice and strong, fingers spread nice and wide, wrists right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. And as you inhale, pretend you're pulling your palms back as you pull your heart forward, arch your spine, gaze moves up, inhale here. And then exhale, press through your palms to round your spine, tuck your chin, let it go. Inhale, arch it up, really activate those hands on the mat as you pull your heart through your shoulders. And then exhale, round it down. One more time here, inhale, arch it. Exhale, round it. Extend your right arm forward, your left leg back. Oh, actually, before we do that, I always forget to say, you can start your playlist now. It's like, I forget because I don't practice the music when I teach. If you want to take a moment here, start your playlist. I'll give you a breath or two. Good, and then come back to tabletop position. From here, extend your right arm forward, your left leg back. Find nice length in your body here, right? You're not thinking about arching your spine and lifting, you're finding length forward and back. Fingers reaching forward, butt is reaching back, engage your core here, square those hips down toward the mat. And then as you exhale, round it in, elbow to knee, tuck your chin. Inhale, extend it out, really feel your core moving your leg. Exhale, round it in. Inhale here, stretch it out. Either stay here, or you can reach your arm back for your leg as you bend your knee and take this little bind here, keeping your heart squared forward, lifting your leg up toward the sky, reaching your heart forward. One more breath. Inhale, extend it back out. Exhale, come back to tabletop. Switching sides. Left arm reaches forward, right leg reaches back here. Find length, really feel your core engaging, pulling you up away from the mat here as your fingers extend forward and your toes extend back. One more breath here, extend. And then as you exhale, round it in, elbow to knee, tuck your chin, let your head go. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, round it in, using your core to move your leg. Inhale, extend it back out, either stay here, squaring those hips down, isolating that strength there, or reach around for the bind, keeping your shoulders square toward the front of the room. Good, one more breath here, reach it. As you exhale, extend it back out. Come back to tabletop as you breathe it in. One more time, just arch your spine here, tuck your toes, and from this arch, I want you to start to move your way back to downward facing dog. So think about keeping arching your lower back and sending your hips up toward the sky, like letting them lead the way. So press your palms into the mat, keep your knees bent, send your hips up toward the sky as your chest moves back toward your thighs. Good, and then start to straighten your legs, letting your heels fall to the earth. Thinking about that arch in your lower spine, you don't really do it in downward facing dog, but if you think about it, you'll be able to lift your hips a little bit higher toward the sky. Pretend you're squeezing a block between your legs, keeping them nice and engaged and pulling into the bend line here. Inhale here and exhale. Next inhale, just come high on your toes, and then exhale, drop your heels to the right. Taking a nice side stretch down the left side body, really pressing down through your palms, especially your left palm. Finding a nice stretch all the way from that left wrist to the hips, and then the hips down to the legs, to the ankles there. Inhale, come back through center, high on the toes, and just let your heels fall to the left. Now pressing through your right palm, finding a nice stretch in that side body. Inhaling here, and exhale. Inhale, back high on the toes. Take a breath, let your heels fall back down to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, reach that right leg up toward the sky, three-legged dog, opening your hip. Good. Bending the knees, stacking your right hip on top of your left, and then starting to make some circles here. Right, we did a little hip warm up at the beginning, so maybe this feels different than it usually does when we start these earlier in the practice. Good, just notice it. Switch directions if you haven't, take another circle or two. And then as you inhale, send your right leg all the way up toward the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, roll forward to plank, hug your knee in towards your chest here. And then gently place your right foot in between your hands, coming into a low lunge. Oh, it's like a Friday party here. It's good to see everybody. Awesome. I hope you can hear me. There's a trash truck going by. Life is happening, right? High on your fingertips here. Rock back and forth. Feel your hips nice and heavy. Good, and then come to stillness here for a moment. Keep pulling your chest forward. And then just try to tap your left knee down to the mat with as little movement in your torso as possible. And then exhale, press through your left heel to extend your leg back straight, lifting your knee. Good, finding a nice isolated stretch in the front of your left hip. Inhale, tap your left knee down. Exhale, extend it back straight. And then one more time, just drop your knee to the mat. Untuck your toes here. Bring your hand up to your knee, let your hips fall heavy. Just wait for pulse here for a moment. And start to straighten your arms as your torso lifts. Tuck your tailbone under here. Find a nice lengthening through the front body. And then inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky, Anjaneyasana. Just stay there for a moment while I close the windows. Good. Okay, hopefully you can hear me okay. Reaching up toward the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good, and then press into your foot and your knee to lift your torso as you bring your arms down to goalpost, tucking your tail under, finding a nice lengthening in the front of the left hip. Inhale, drop your hips, reach up. Exhale, lift your torso as you bend your elbows. Good, inhale one more time, drop your hips down. Hands come to either side of your front foot. Just straighten that leg out. So inhale here to lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold it forward into half split. It's going to be a hips kind of a day. I'm feeling it. Good. One more breath here, just breathing it out, stretching the hamstring. Inhale, bend into your right knee, step it back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here to notice the difference between right and left. And then take your left leg up toward the sky, sweeping it up, then bend your knee, open your hips, breathe here for a moment, lift your knee a little bit higher. And then start to make those yummy circles. One direction, and you can try with a bent knee or a straight knee or kind of play around with it here, see what feels good. And then switch directions. Good. Next, inhale, send that left leg all the way up toward the sky. Inhale, roll forward to plank, hugging it in. And then gently place your left foot in between your hands. Come on your fingertips here. Feel your hips lifting away from the mat. Rock back and forth. Find length all the way down the back of your body here. Beautiful. Then come to stillness. Take an inhale here to tap your knee down, your right knee down. And then exhale, press through your right foot to straighten it back out. Find the power in your foot there. Inhale, tap it down. Very little movement here. Exhale, press through that foot to straighten it back out. You should feel a nice opening in the front of that right hip. Inhale here, tap it down, leave your knee down this time. Untuck your toes. Bring your hands to the top of your knee here and just pulse. Try to let go in your hips. Right? It's the hardest thing to do, just trying to trust and soften. Beautiful. On your next inhale, start to straighten your arms. You'll feel the torso lift a little bit as you lift your chest up toward the sky. Tuck your right tailbone under here. Find some length. And then inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky, Anjaneyasana. Reaching up, tucking in, bringing your ribs in towards your body, right? As you tuck the tailbone down, lengthening the front of your right hip. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, let your hips drop here. Inhale, tuck it in as you lift up. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, lift it up last time. Exhale, drop your hips, hands come to either side of your front foot. Straighten your left leg here. Take an inhale here to lengthen. And then exhale, fold it down. Just a few breaths here, warming up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, step into your left foot, bend your left knee, step it back to downward facing dog. Then come high on your toes. Feel your navel move up toward the sky here, really hollowing out the belly as you tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. Arriving there, feet are hips width distance apart. And then just fold it down, let your head hang heavy. You can grab opposite elbows here. You can bend into one knee and then the other. Feel your lower back loosening up, letting go. You can also crisscross your arms behind your legs here to pull yourself a little bit deeper. Inhaling here and exhaling. Good, no matter where your hands are, just take a moment here to try to pull the weight. We usually tend to pull the weight back into our heels when we're folded forward. Just see what it feels like to move the weight a little bit more towards your toes, right? It's a little bit risky. You might feel like you're gonna fall. Just kind of stop at that edge there and feel the difference. You might find a different area of your hamstring there all the way up by your seat. Just a different sensation, right? We always tend to sort of default to what's comfortable. So play around a little bit, take a little risk here, tip forward just a little bit toward the toes. And then come back to center, release your arms, bend your knees, press your feet into them as you tuck your chin, rolling up, stacking your spine here, reaching your arms out and up overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Pausing there for just a moment with your eyes closed, setting an intention for your practice. Good, as we start to get moving, connecting our breath and our movement through sun salutations. Just be with yourself today, right? And appreciate the fact that we're all here. Don't judge yourself, right? You're here doing the work, and that's the most important thing. Release your arms by your side, let your eyes blink open. You can even soften your knees or keep them straight. Do what feels good to you. You guys all know what you're doing here in sun salutations. Just start to warm up. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, maybe palms press. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale here to lengthen. Maybe move the weight to the toes for just a moment here. And then exhale, plant your palms, step or jump back, lowering down to chaturanga, keeping your elbows squeezed. Inhale, upward facing dog, pull your heart forward. Exhale, take it back, let your hips lead the way, downward facing dog, right? Try to find that arch in your lower spine. You might want to bend your knees for a moment to find that. Feel your hips lift toward the sky. Your sit bones are reaching up like headlights toward the sky. Inhale here. And exhale. Nice long side body here. Stretching it long. Exhale. Inhale here. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or down to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise up, reach up, palms press or arms are parallel. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Again, inhale, reach it up, gaze is up, heart is lifting. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale here to lengthen, tip towards your toes. And then exhale, plant your palms, step or jump back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Think about turning the eyes of your elbows, like your inner elbows, toward the front of the room. Right? You should feel some more space open up for your neck. As your shoulders pull down, your neck lengthens out of your, like almost like a turtle, right? Inhale here. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Gaze is up. This time, exhale, fold it right back down. Inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back, lowering down. Inhale, up dog, follow your breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right, as yoga teachers, we're just like your tour guides here. You know your body, you know what you need today. Follow your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Squeeze that imaginary block between your thighs. Feel your navel engage up towards your spine here. You can inhale, fill up. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise up, reach up, palms press. Just for a moment here, reach for the sky, come high on your toes here. Squeeze that block, the imaginary block, or maybe it's like a tennis ball now in between your legs. Good. Reach up, hold it here, squeeze into the midline. And as you exhale, let your heels fall, arms come to your side. Hook your thumbs out in front of you. As you inhale, reach up, look up, arch it back, tuck your tail. Exhale, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold it down. Inhale, hands come to the mat, right foot steps back, lunge, gaze ahead. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Connecting our breath and our movement. Inhale, roll it forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga, gaze a little bit ahead. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, touch to the sky, squeeze those arms in. Inhale, slide it forward to cobra. Exhale, push it back, seat to heels, downward facing dog. Beautiful, guys. Inhale, right foot steps forward, lunge. Exhale, left foot forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch back. Exhale, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold it down. Inhale, hands to the mat, left foot back, lunge. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, building some heat here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide it forward to cobra. Exhale, push it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, lunge. Exhale, right foot forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch it back. Exhale, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold it down. Inhale, hands come to the mat, listen up, right foot steps back to a lunge. Plant your feet into the mat and reach up into high lunge. Take your time, take an extra breath. Feel nice and steady here. Bend into that left knee, squeeze your outer hips into the midline, lift your heart as you tuck your tail. One more breath here. Next inhale, bring your arms to that goalpost position and then take a twist to the left. Keeping your arms first in goalpost, right? Holding it here, squeezing in, and then maybe extending from here, your arms out in either direction, gaze over your left fingertips, gaze behind you. And then either stay here or take the back bend here. Reaching your right arm up, left arm comes to the back of your leg. One more breath here. Good, as you exhale, stay in the twist, bring your right hand down onto the mat and then just take this lunge twist, right? So your left arm is reaching up, your twist is moving away from your leg. Find space here, one more breath. Exhale, left hand comes down, step it back, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide to cobra. Hold it here for just a moment. Press the tops of your feet and your hips into the mat. Lift your palms up off the mat, just like even a centimeter, right? Pull your shoulders back, lift your heart. Hold it here, lift a little bit higher. Hands come down, push it back, seat to heels, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward to a lunge. Exhale, left foot forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch it back. Last time here, bend knees, swing arms, clasp hands, fold it down. As you inhale, hands to the mat, left foot steps back to a lunge, press your feet into the mat and lift yourself up into high lunge. Good, take a moment here, feel steady, adjust your feet accordingly. Pressing that left heel back, tucking your left tailbone down, and then reaching your heart up toward the sky. One more breath here, nice and strong. As you exhale, arms come to goalpost position. Good, and from here, take the twist. Your hips are staying squared. You're twisting from your rib cage up, right? So when our arms are closer in, we don't kind of like use the momentum of our hands all the way out here. So keep your arms squeezing in. And then when you get where you're going, maybe extend your arms in opposite directions. Gaze behind you. And then either stay here or take the back bend, reverse, reverse. Good, gaze can move up if you have your balance. One more breath. As you exhale, stay twisted. Left hand comes down to the mat. Take this twisted lunge. Keep squeezing your hips into the midline. Feel a nice opening in your right outer hip. I can't talk today. Good. One more breath here. Exhale, right hand down, step it back, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide it forward to cobra. Pause here, press the feet, the hips down. Lift your arms up, hold it here, or 3 times pretend you're swimming. Reach your fingertips forward, and then exhale, pull it back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull shoulders away from your ears. Last time, inhale, reach, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, pull your hands down, plant them to the mat. Press it back, seat to heels, downward facing dog. Left foot forward to a lunge. Exhale, right foot forward, fold it down. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, reach up, look up, arch back. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Good, catch up with yourself. Right, there's always like mixed emotions in that little series of Jiva Mukti salutations. You either love them or you hate them, but they warm you up, right? They teach you to connect your breath and your movement. So it's sometimes, it's challenging to work with the poses that you kind of avoid, or the sequences that you avoid. It's like a mental exercise. Good. Come back to the top of your mat. Toes and heels are touching. Send the weight into your heels as you bend your knees deeply. Rise up to Utkatasana. Hips are dropping. Heart is lifting. Navel is pulling in. Hold it here. Breathe it in. And then exhale, fold down over straight legs. Inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward, rise up to warrior one. Deep bend in that right knee. Outer edge of your left foot, pressing into the mat, steering your hips forward, and then tuck your tailbone down. Right, find some length and some space in the front of your left hip when you do that. Inhale here, hold it for another breath, nice and strong. And then as you exhale, just press into your right foot to straighten your right leg, bring your arms behind you. Interlace your fingers here. Give your right thigh a break. Pull your knuckles down as you lift your heart with straight legs, squared shoulders. And then as you exhale, bend back into that right knee and fold into your humble warrior. Folding inside your bent right knee. Crown of your head is pulling you down. Knuckles are lifting your heart and your shoulders up and your hips up. Right, keep pressing into your feet. Feel the press of your feet, lift your hips up and away from the mat, making more space to fold into. One more breath here. Next, inhale, lift halfway up. Release your hands off to the left corner, probably off of your mat, and just take this nice stretch. Take up lots of space. Warrior legs, down dog, torso here. Pressing your hands into the mat forward as you send your hips back. Good, one more breath here. As you exhale, start to walk your hands toward the back of the mat, down the side, and then come into Skandasana. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Good, just take your variation here, right? You can use your hands to open your legs. You can take the bind, you can open up your arms to fly. Just do what feels good, or you can stay in this sort of down dog torso. Just do what feels good here. Let your hips sink, release them down. One more breath. As you inhale, walk your hands back toward the front of the mat to either side of your right foot. Step back to lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Good, feel nice and strong, right? It's a familiar position, but we don't want to kind of take the easy route. We always want to focus on our foundations here. Pull those hips squared. Bend into your left knee, lift your heart, tuck your right tailbone down, pull your ribs in, one more breath. And then as you exhale, straighten that left leg, hands come behind you. Interlace your fingers, pull your knuckles down to lift your heart up. And then exhale all at once, bend into that left knee as you fold it down, humble warrior. Good, let your neck go. Crown of your head is pulling you down. Right, use your head, right? I said this, I think I told you guys this, I said this once to a very young group of students and they didn't know what I was talking about, but in Jerry Maguire, remember the little kid goes, the human head weighs 8 pounds, so use that 8 pounds, so let it help pull your head down. Good, and then in opposition to that, press into your feet, feel your hips lift up from like the bottom part of your legs. One more breath here. Inhale, keep your legs as they are, release your hands off to the right corner of your mat or off your mat. Come into this nice spacious fold here, right? Keep pressing into that back foot. Don't forget about it as you extend your torso forward. One more breath. And then start to walk your hands along the side of the mat, bending into your left knee, coming into Skandasana. Sorry, right knee is bent, left leg is straight. It's definitely Friday. Good. Take whatever variation you did on the other side if it's possible, the bind or opening up. Good, just play around with it. Get into the areas of your hip that you need to get into, moving your weight around a little bit. One more breath wherever you are. Beautiful, ladies. And then start to walk your hands back toward the top of the mat. Hands to either side of your front foot. Just step it back to lower down chaturanga or meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale, up dog if you're doing the vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Let it go. Inhale here to fill up. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward, press those palms into the mat, and then step or jump to the top. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, rise up to Utkatasana. Exhale, come to Tadasana. Good, still at the top of your mat, toes and heels touching, feel nice and strong in your feet. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, rise up to Utkatasana. Good, and then we're gonna make this like an active twisting, so bear with me. We'll get through it together. Bring your hands to heart center. As you inhale, take a twist to the right here. Good, we're gonna work with our breath and then we'll hold it. And then inhale, stay low, come back to center, Utkatasana. Exhale, twist it to the left. Take a breath. Inhale back to center, stay low. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left. One more time to each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center here. Just hook your thumbs, straighten your legs, reach up, arch your back. Just take a break. And then exhale, bend your knees, swing your arms, clasp hands. Just fold it down, hold it here. Let your neck go. Give your thighs a break. Inhale. Good, and then as you exhale, bend back into those knees, come back to Utkatasana. And this time we're gonna hold it. So just twist to the right. Really hook that arm. Now you can focus on the foundation, right? Drop those hips, press your palms together unless you're opening up your arms, and think about pulling your heart towards your thumbs as your gaze moves up toward the sky. Good, hips are evenly squaring back and lowering. One more breath. Inhale, reach it up to the center, and then exhale, take it to the other side. Right? This is another one of those challenges. Some days you're in the mood to move, and some days you're in the mood to hold, and doing the opposite of what you want is really challenging. So just know that we're all here doing this together. Good. And we've got each other's backs, right? One more breath. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Hook those thumbs, stand up, arch it back. And then come to Tadasana, standing at the top of your mat. I don't know what I drank this morning, but sorry. Hands come to your side, bend your knees deeply for just a breath, Utkatasana. And then exhale, fold it down. Inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward, rise up to warrior one. Exhale, open to warrior two, pause here. Deep bend, think about tucking your tail under, right? Pressing your hips forward, lowering your shoulders down your back, gazing ahead. One more breath. Inhale, reach up, reach back, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, come into extended side angle, your version. Modify with your arm on your thigh to the inside of your leg if you're moving toward the bind, or to the outside, wherever you are. Every breath should take you a little bit deeper. Inhaling here. And exhaling, pressing through that back foot. Don't forget about it. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. If you have any kind of bind, release it. Just come back into your regular extended side angle or modify, right? And then staying as with your torso as it is. Try to reach your right arm off on a diagonal like you're holding a big beach ball. Keep your heart open to the side. Bend into that right knee. One more breath. Whew. Inhale, come all the way up as you straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes toward the side of the mat. Toes are parallel. Hands come to your waist here. Take a breath. Good. Press into your feet as you press down into your hips to lift your heart. And then exhale, let your heart lead the way as you fold forward. Release your hands to the mat. Let your head go. Crown of your head is pulling you down. Good. Lots of options here. If you're struggling, you can widen your stance to pull yourself a little bit deeper. If it's super easy, close your stance. You can also come upside down if that's in your practice. Wherever you are, just try to stay and press down through your feet unless you're upside down, obviously. One more breath here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale, come if you're upside down, come back to where you are. Then bring your torso halfway up as you bring your hands to your waist. I think we did this last time. Good, keeping your toes facing forward. You may need to adjust your feet a little bit, bend into your knees, send your seat back, feel your hip creases here working. Your hip flexors are working, send your seat back. Pull your heart forward, elbows can move toward the sky, or you can reach your arms forward. Sometimes that's a nice balance, like you're so busy reaching forward that you forget about what's going on in your hips here. Good, one more breath. Woo. Hands come back to your waist if they're extended. Start to straighten your legs as you stand all the way back up. Right toes turn forward. Extend your arms out to the side. And start to pull yourself into triangle pose. Good, taking a breath to extend forward and then taking your right arm down as your left arm reaches toward the sky. Pushing your hips forward. Good, moving your chest back. Pressing into those feet. Maybe lift your right toes up off the mat. See what that does to the engagement of your right leg. Good. One more breath here. Inhaling. As you exhale, left hand comes to your left hip. Bend into your right knee. Walk your fingertips forward. And so that your shoulders stack right over your wrists. And then open up into your half moon pose. Right, you're still in triangle basically. You just tipped it 90 degrees. Maybe bend a little bit into that right knee to sort of open up your hips a little bit more and then straighten it all back out. Gaze goes up only if you feel balanced. One more breath. Exhale, left hand comes down. Square your chest, square your hips toward the mat. Press into your left hand and then take the reverse, the twisted half moon. So you're lifting your right arm up. Keep squeezing your inner thighs in. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, right hand comes down. Take an inhale here to lengthen your spine. And then exhale, start to walk your hands back as you lift your left leg toward the sky for a standing leg split. Release your head. Inhaling here. And exhaling. One more breath. Lift those toes a little bit higher. Use your core to lift your leg. And then as you exhale, bend into your right knee. Float your left foot to the back of the mat, coming into a lunge. And then exhale, just take it back to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, left foot steps forward, warrior one. Then exhale, open it up to warrior two. Just pause here. Breathing. Tuck that tail under. Feel your hips pull forward, right? So that you're nice and straight and perpendicular. No arch in your lower back. Really tuck it in. Feel the opening in your front hips. One more breath. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Find the space here. Good, and then as you exhale, come into your version of extended side angle. And right, your version may be sort of a progressive one. Maybe you're starting a modified and then you pull your hands down. Just do what feels good. If you have the bind, you're still pulling your heart toward the side of the room, pressing into the back of that foot, into the back foot, sorry. One more breath here. Good. Then press those feet into the mat. If you have the bind, release it, reach that right arm up over your head toward the front of the room. And then start to bring your left arm off the mat, right? So you're still at extended side angle torso. You're just reaching your hands forward. Hold it here, open your heart. One more breath. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way to stand. Left toes turn toward the side of the mat. Good. Bring your arms behind you, interlace those fingers. Take a moment here to tuck your tail, right? And press into your feet and then lift your spine up. Lift your heart up. Good. Opening up. And then leading with your heart again, start to fold it forward. Head brings you down. Good, and then before you start to take your fists up and over your head, really I want you to take it up toward the sky. Feel your shoulders lift away from your ears, away from the mat. And in that space, then start to take your fists up and overhead. Right, you may not go as far as you usually do, but you're keeping your shoulders away from your ears here. Squeezing the palms together if your shoulders allow it. One more breath here. On your next inhale, press into your feet, come all the way back up to stand. Turn your left toes toward the front of the mat. Legs are straight, arms are extended. Shorten your stance or adjust it as you need to, and then take yourself into triangle pose. Good. Really reaching, and then taking your left arm down, right arm reaches up. Keep pressing your hips toward the right there, and you pull your heart back. And if you did so on the other side, lift your left toes up off the mat and really engage all the way up to your groin on that left leg, keeping your tail tucked. One more breath here. As you exhale, right hand comes to your hip, tiptoe your fingers off in front of you, but a little bit off to the side and in front. And then start to peel yourself open into half moon pose. Again, maybe bending that left knee a little bit as you make your way there to find the space. And then press into your foot to straighten everything out, nice and strong and engaged. Don't forget about that back leg. Keep it engaged. Press that right sole of your foot toward the back of the room. Gaze is up, maybe. One more breath. As you exhale, right hand comes down, chest and hips square down toward the mat. Squeeze into the midline, squeeze those inner thighs together, and then reach your left arm up into this twisted half moon, revolved half moon. One more breath here. Whew. And then exhale, left hand comes down, square those hips, reach your heart forward for an inhale, and then exhale, walk it back into standing leg split. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Next inhale, gently bend into your left leg, float your right leg to the back of the mat, coming into a low lunge. Exhale, press it back to downward facing dog. And then bring your knees down to the mat, taking a break in child's pose. That was a lot of standing poses. Good. Toes together, knees apart, or maybe your legs are together. See what feels good for you. Wherever you are, you're pulling your hips back and down, reaching your torso forward and down, right? Finding length down the back body. Hips are nice and loose and heavy. Not holding on. Breathing here. Exhale. Good. From your child's pose, I want you to stay low. Just kind of slither yourself forward into Sphinx pose. You might have to adjust a little bit on your mat here. So getting into Sphinx, your elbows are right under your shoulders here. Your forearms are parallel. You're on your belly here. I'm sorry, my head had relocated today, so I don't know if you can see all of me. Good. Forearms are parallel. You're pressing your forearms into the mat and isometrically pulling them back towards your torso as you pull your heart forward. And then press those tops of your feet and your hips into the mat. Everything's engaged here. It's very difficult, right? Looks easy, is not. Beautiful. From here, just pull, keep it engaged for one more breath. And then exhale, just bring your torso down and give it a rest. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Then come back up onto your forearms. This time we're gonna tuck our toes under. Good. We're gonna come into a forearm plank. This is our core work. So if you have a block, you can put it in between your thighs. If you don't, just imagine one's there. Press into your forearms, lift your hips up off the mat, tuck your tail down towards your heels here. Feel your core engage, right? Navel's pulling up toward the spine. Gaze it just in front of your fingertips here. No strain on the neck. Feel nice and strong here like you're aboard. Hold it here. Or you can do these little leg taps. So you can bend your right knee, try to tap your right upper arm and then pull it back. Good, 3 times to each side if you're doing that. Otherwise, hold the plank, which is not easy either. Good, use your core here to move your leg. 1 more time to each side if you're doing the taps. Hold it in plank for just a breath. And then exhale, drop your hips, rest it down. Whew. Beautiful. All right, 1 more shoulder strengthener and then we'll stretch them out. Back on your forearms now. We're gonna take it into dolphin pose, which is like a forearm downward facing dog. So lift your hips up, come into that forearm plank, and then start to walk your feet in as your hips lift up toward the sky. Keep pressing your whole forearm down. Feel your chest move back toward your thighs here, right? You wanna think about stacking your shoulders right on top of your elbows. So pull it in, walk it in as far as you can. Good, and when you're there, maybe bend your knees a little bit, feel your sit bones separate and lift, and then straighten those legs back out. Stay here for about 6 or 8 breaths, or you can do some leg lifts here, lifting 1 leg at a time, keeping your chest pressed back, right? This is all prep for forearm stand, or if forearm stand is in your practice, you can go there. Lifting up. But you keep pressing down through your forearm. You're finding all this strength in your shoulders. Good, 2 more breaths here. You got this. Beautiful. Then bring your knees down to the mat. Come back onto your bellies here. I'm gonna try and tip my camera a little bit so you can see me. We're gonna stay on our bellies. There we go, okay. From here, you're gonna extend your right arm straight out to the side. And then start to roll to the right, bringing your right cheek down to the mat, or maybe keep rolling. You can bend into your left leg for some stability. And then maybe take your left arm back as if you're gonna tap the backs of your hands together behind you, right? Keep pressing down into the mat, right? Again, using this gravity, pressing down, letting it open up your right shoulder here. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, roll back to your belly to center, and then we'll switch sides. This should feel really good after all that shoulder work. Good. Left arm extends. Really make sure that your left shoulder is attached to the mat as you start to roll to the left, right? That's kind of like your fulcrum here. Taking your arms back behind you. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't, right? That's just like an anatomy thing, not necessarily a flexibility thing. So just see where you are, but feel the openness by pressing down to that left shoulder, really opening up your heart. Inhaling here. Exhale, come back to center. Press yourself back into a child's pose. Pausing there. Good, and then let's come up onto our knees. Into a quick back bend / heart opener, right? Sometimes if we think about it as a back bend, we're like, I can't do that. But thinking about it as a heart opener kind of changes your perspective on it. So your knees are like coming straight down from your hips. Take a moment here to squeeze them in like you have that block, and a block can actually be really helpful here if you have one. Keep you engaged, tuck that tailbone down towards your knees. Hands come to your hips, press your hips and your shoulders down. And for this first one, just think about lifting your heart, right? Your torso is gonna stay nice and perpendicular to the ground. Just think about a string, pulling your heart up toward the sky, like lengthening that whole front body, right? So this, right? You can think of this as a heart opener instead of a back bend. Just lifting up, opening, sending your shoulders back without arching your spine. Pressing down, hold it here, squeeze into the midline. Ooh, it's like Sphinx, it's harder than it looks, right? And then exhale, just sit down on your heels for a moment, take a break. These sneaky little poses that always catch you. All right, one more time. So you can either repeat what we just did, which is amazing, or you can take it into more of like a traditional camel back bend, right? So if you're doing that, you're gonna have the same prep work. You're gonna press down to lift your heart. And then from there, you can release your hands from your waist and reach back toward your heels. Your toes can be tucked for a little bit, less distance to reach, or if you're feeling open, you can untuck your toes. Keep pressing your hips forward. And again, think about it as your heart lifting. So you don't take the strain into your lower back. You can drop your head if it's comfortable. Hold it here, pressing down into the knees and the feet. One more breath. And then as you exhale, come back up. Sit down on your heels. Good. And then bring your hips to one side and just send your legs out in front of you. Take the easy way, right? We deserve it. We're gonna take my favorite, right? My favorite seated pose. Opening your legs into a wide straddle here. Good. Take a moment here, bring your hands behind you. Feel your sit bones tip up like forward a little bit, like the inseam of your yoga pants is tipping forward, right? Use that space to lift your heart. So press down to lift up, spread your collarbone here. Beautiful. Without moving your legs, start to walk your hands out in front of you. Keeping your legs engaged here, pressing down into the mat, walking yourself forward with a nice long spine. So you may stay on your hands here, right? You just want a nice long spine. You may take it down to your forearms. You may bring your whole torso down, right? Do what feels good and then just breathe into it. And every exhale, maybe you float up to like a millimeter deeper, right? Keep those legs engaged. Toes are pointing toward the sky for just another breath. Good, and then staying down, I want you to just point your toes here. See if you feel a different engagement in your legs. You may and you may not. And it's a nice, also just good stretch for your ankles here. Good. Flex your feet back up toward the sky. Press your heels into the mat here for just a breath. Pretend you're dragging your heels into the midline. Your knees will bend a tiny, tiny bit here. Feel that engagement. Feel the opening in your inner thighs. Whew. And then exhale, release that and maybe fold a tiny bit deeper. Inhaling here and exhaling. Good. Walk your hands back up to center. Bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg, palm facing toward the sky. Really press that forearm down as you reach your right arm toward the sky. Take this extra breath here to set it up instead of flopping into the pose. Make it nice and strong. Press that right sit bone and right leg down into the mat as you reach up. And then start to fold to the side. First fold is going to be with our heart open toward the side of the room, right? A real side bend here. Maybe reaching for your toes, finding the length. Feel your rib cage expand all down the right side of your body. Maybe if you have the bind here, you can start to twist your heart toward the sky, moving your gaze up. Most important to keep your right leg attached to the ground. One more breath. Good, then stay low, just turn your torso, rotate it so you're facing more right over your left leg here. Good, take a moment here, your arms are on either side of your leg, pull your heart forward and then fold it down. Good, and this one I do like to point my right foot and feel my whole right leg pulling away as I fold to the left. Just like a little bit of extra length and engagement there. One more breath. Good, inhale, walk it back up. Come to center, take a breath there, and then switch sides. Right arm, palm is up, pressing down to the inside of your right leg. Press your left leg and sit bone down as you reach your left leg up, your left arm up. I really am having issues today. Good. And then take it up and over to the side. Good thing you guys know me and you know what you're doing. Keeping your left leg attached, maybe reaching for your toes or just toward the side of the room. Good. If you have the bind, you can start to turn your gaze and your heart toward the sky. Grounding down to turn and open. One more breath. Good, as you exhale, stay low, just change the stretch, rotate your torso facing down right over your right leg here. Take an inhale here to lengthen and then exhale, fold it down. Point those left toes, feel that left leg pulling away from you as you pull your torso in the opposite direction. One more breath. Good, inhale, bring it all the way back up. Hands come behind your thighs, just bend your knees, join your feet together in Baddha Konasana for just a breath or two, kind of evening it out, right, for the OCD symmetry's sake. Good. Take a moment here to lift up as you hold your feet, lift your heart, ground your sit bones, and then fold it down. Take your elbows to the inside of your leg if you want to open up a little bit more, as if I was right there pressing your inner thighs down. I wish I could be. Holding it here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale, come all the way back up. Extend your legs out in front of you. Oh, I always go over time here. Scoop out your belly, navel towards your spine, arms out in front of you, and then roll yourself all the way down onto your back here. Taking an inversion of your choice. We tend to finish up practice toward the end with a shoulder stand, which is super restorative. If you're working on any other inversion, go for it. I'll cue for shoulder stand. So shoulder stand, you're gonna lift your legs up overhead, pop your hips up, hands come to your lower back. Shimmy your shoulders and walk your elbows toward the midline to lift your legs a little higher. Keep squeezing those legs in, keep them active up there, right? Tuck your tail up towards your heels, feel the engagement. Good, pull into the midline, that imaginary block, squeezing in. One more breath here, just sealing in all this energy. And then slowly let your feet fall behind you, coming into cloud pose. Releasing your hands if your toes touch, maybe interlacing them down the mat. Just finding length down your back, especially the lower back here. Breathe it out. And then bend your knees to either side of your head, giving your ears a little hug here, Karnapiyasana. Your shins feel nice and heavy, let them pull you down. Breathe it out. Inhale here. As you exhale, straighten those legs back out, arms come down the mat. Slowly roll yourself all the way back down onto your back. You can point your toes here, really find length in the front of your legs here, especially in your hip flexors, as you pull your toes like in a nice big rainbow arc here, pulling them down, using your core, lengthening the legs. Beautiful. Last pose here, walk your elbows down towards your hips. Press into your forearms, open your collarbone here, let your head drop, coming into fish pose. Good, you can either try to lift your leg, like if the fish pose is super familiar to you, you can work on lifting your legs up off the mat or even your arms up off the mat if your head is touching, right? Wherever you are, feeling the squeeze into the midline here as you breathe in through your nose, let it go through your mouth. 2 more times like that, really breathe in. Let it go. Last time, breathe it in. Exhale, let it go as you tuck your chin in towards your chest. Setting up for Shavasana or taking any last poses that you feel like you need today. Right, and just like we did at the beginning, just feel your body sinking into the earth, knowing that you're okay, right? And letting Shavasana kind of take over. Slowly start to reawaken your body and your breath, deepening your inhales and exhales and bringing small movements to your fingers and toes. Gently rock your head side to side. And then extend your arms up overhead as you breathe in, finding a full body stretch. Right? It's like a reawakening. We're waking up again after this practice. As you exhale, gather your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a hug. And gently keep your eyes gently closed as you roll through either side to come back up to seated. Taking a few breaths to find that nice tall spine. Checking back in with yourself, just rolling those shoulders up towards your ears and back. Really feeling so grateful for all the changes we've made in our minds and our bodies and our hearts and our spirits here. We'll close class together as we always do with Loka Samasta. Please join me. Breathing in. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands together at heart center. Gently bow your chin in towards your chest. Taking this moment to honor yourself, thank yourself, and celebrate yourself, knowing that everything that you need, all of the teachings, all of the wisdom lie right within you. Bringing your prayer to your third eye, sealing in this practice and this beautiful energy. We bow forward together.